Hey, and we are back. And I used to say we still black, but I'm blacker than black. Welcome to Point Black, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing? Hey, you know what's interesting in that the when we do these show, you know, you hear my voice, and if you go to YouTube, you'll see my face. But all of this takes a lot of hands and a lot of talent to produce an end product. Have you ever wondered, I'm quite sure you wonder, what happens behind the scenes? What happens in those studios? You know, for instance, you know, we got the senior program director for iHeart, 40 years in the business, Dr. BJ the BJ. He's back there, and he is leading the charge. You know, nothing would happen without this show wouldn't exist without him. Then on the other side, we got a videographer, captured by Vidal. Ladies and gentlemen, I have another saying for that, but if I say it, they're going to block it out. So I'm disappointed that they would do that to me. But captured by Vidal, videographers, if you go to YouTube and pull it up and look at the editing, because what you see there is only a portion. Even what you hear on the radio is only a portion of what happens in the studio and what it takes to do it. And today we have a novice behind the board, Courtney Curtis, my God, my producer. They actually are letting him work the board. But ladies and gentlemen, if you just can see this, matter of fact, Vidal, do me one thing, pan the room, pan it, and just give a shot. And I want you in the shot too. So when people look at the YouTube, I want to see, hey, it takes a team. No, it really takes a team to pull this together. And by the way, we got DJ Stu over here. You know, Stu.net. Ladies and gentlemen, I got it wrong. Stu.net. We got him in here. All I'm trying to say is that it takes a team to pull this thing together. It takes some dedicated folks who do what they do. So when you hear it and when you see it, yeah, that's right. You know, I make it all happen, but I have some people behind me that really do the work. I don't do nothing but get to run my damn mouth. That's about it. That, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. And that's a big it. But you know, the reason why I say that is because if you ever went to a concert, went to a show, I know y'all go see Beyonce and BJ, where was you at? Maze. We saw that last Maze show and stuff like that. And ladies and gentlemen, when you see that show, you see all those lights and the cameras and you hear it and everything's going good. And then when the new one group steps out and another come on, you see all these people run out there like ants, moving stuff around, moving equipment around, moving instruments around. You see all that activity going on. And you be like, I wonder what goes on behind the scene. I don't know if you done. I've sit there and said, now, I wonder if they back there doing the doobie, drinking, just kicking it. What is going on back there? I know what the artists may be doing, but I'm talking about the folks. Because listen, without those folks you see scurrying around back there, it wouldn't be a show. Without the folks I just talked to you about, it wouldn't be a show. It wouldn't be a show. And if we try without them, ladies and gentlemen, the sound, you be out there saying the sound quality is bad. Well, I'm going to tell you who you need to blame when you get there and the sound quality is blame. Don't blame the artist. You're going to blame my guest. Ladies and gentlemen, I got a senior sound engineer and producer for shows.
Yes,
matter of fact, he started with the first Essence Fest.
Sure did.
So I got brother Mike Martin in the house. How you doing,
I'm
Mike?
doing, Brother Dolph. It's good to see you, man.
Good to see
it's
you,
been
man.
years since the frat house. It's been years. My first one over. But yes, brother, it's good to be here.
So let's now, ladies and gentlemen, for saying this. So one thing we're gonna do, because I always like to bring people up who have some unique stories that come out of the Lewistown. Because folks need to understand that we get people to come out of here and go elsewhere and do great things, and we get a chance to come back. So, Mike, what part of the city are you from? Where were you?
I'm from the north side. I grew up in Walnut Park.
Walnut Park.
I grew up in Walnut Park, right over there on Riverview Boulevard.
Now, you wasn't there when our governor was there, because our governor grew up in Walnut Park.
No, I wasn't there then. They were still chasing us from Baden back then. They were still chasing us and trying to take our bikes back then.
And you left Walnut Park and went to?
I went to Bishop Healy. I went to CBC High School here.
Bishop Healy, then CBC High School.
Then CBC High School, man. I sure did.
CBC
Class
High
of
School.
'84. Played football 4 years.
Played football 4 years?
Yes, sir. Left there and went to Tennessee State to play football.
You went to Tennessee State?
Yes, I did. Left Tennessee
TSU?
TSU.
And left Tennessee State?
And went to Central Florida to play football.
Central Florida. Wait a minute. Hold on, man. Hold on. When did your eligibility run out? BJ, ain't that some BJ? We had to check on some eligibility stuff up in there. The NCAA.
The NCAA Tennessee State had some issues in '84. Let's put it like that. So transfer had to be done.
Transfer had to be done. Went to Central Florida.
I went to Central Florida to play football and decided it wasn't for me. I'm still the same size.
Yeah.
Getting hit at 165 by somebody 300 hurts. I don't care. Like running into that wall right there, bro.
I
ran into a wall.
And you wound up where?
In New Orleans.
In New Orleans.
In New Orleans. I wound up in New Orleans at Xavier University.
Xavier
University. I took some time off from school, tried to figure out life, and I was like, man, let me go to New Orleans. Got some family down there and wound up at Xavier. And that was the beginning of the dream. That was the beginning of the dream.
You graduated from Xavier?
I graduated from Xavier. Proud, class of '94.
Got it. Went ahead and finished up.
Went back.
Took a break, went back.
Finished up. Right. I pledged in '85.
Okay.
Capped Alpha Psi in '85. Took a break. Joined the military for a little while.
What branch?
Army.
Hoorah,
85 to 88.
Army? Well, we won't hold that against you.
Okay, well, Army Reserve, but I did my little stint.
Look at BJ. See, don't
did my little stint. 76 Yankee, BJ.
See, BJ, ladies and gentlemen, BJ shaking his head over here. BJ, we ain't having no military stuff up in here, and you him know that Courtney was you. Well, no, ladies and gentlemen, we keep going. I was ready to make Courtney a colonel, but that ain't gonna work. But so Xavier, tell me, how did you get into music? What would you title yourself? I said senior sound engineer.
Man, I would say Dolphins production manager, tour manager, production manager. Man, I was wanting to save the world like you at one point. Mm-hmm. I was working in the public defender's office.
Okay.
At Xavier. Every day. And most people only get involved in that when they're in trouble, right?
Right.
And it was a sad situation 3-4 times a day. I'm in magistrate court while I'm at Xavier.
Mm-hmm.
So my only break was going to see shows at night in New Orleans.
Okay.
And in New Orleans is music 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So you see all this despair and anger during the daytime, you need a break from that, bro, because it was every day, all day, four times a day.
Right.
And you be like, my God, life has got to be better than this.
Right.
It's got to be. So your only off time, you'd go see music. And in New Orleans, music is everywhere, all the time, 24/7. And that's what I did. And I started seeing these flashing lights of Dolphins and the sound and the people. It was a wonderful thing. So I decided, do I really want to save the world anymore? Or do I want to get into a world where people seem to be happy all the time? Or they get together all the time and they share this magical moment that is music.
Right.
And music became my mantra. It really did, because my mama had albums her whole life. My mama had like a basement full of albums. And to actually be around this music that she listened to while trying to save the world, I was like, well, I had a decision to make. Do I really want to keep trying to save the world, or do I want to have a larger platform? And I saw music and getting to that industry as a larger platform. can't save you, but I'll at least have a voice on a larger scale, brother. And I saw that, and I jumped in with both feet.
And how you get in?
Man, I started working for free, Adolphus. I was going to Xavier, and there was this club, Jimmy's Music Club in New Orleans. And at that time, there were no black sound engineers working. None. You was pushing cases if you got a job anywhere. You couldn't do front of house. You couldn't do lights. You was wrapping cables, but you weren't doing front of house and actually doing the engineering. So you had to get in somewhere. So I used to go to the clubs and hang out every night, right? Getting to meet people. And I started working for free at this club, just to be around it, learning what the instruments were, learning what the cables were. And brother, after 3 years of working for free, I was making $15 a night. Well, I'm going to Xavier. But I'm just learning when I'm meeting all these folks now. I'm meeting like Taj Mahal. I'm meeting B.B. Kings. I'm meeting all these people that come to this club, right? Like meeting them. They don't know who I am. They're some brother. Because back then, they only saw 1 or 2 brothers ever on a production site. Ever.
Oh, wow.
Ever. You didn't see any brothers hardly ever. You could know somebody or be in the band. That was my first experience.
Got it. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. We got a sound production engineer extraordinaire in the house, Mike Martin. We'll be right back with more on Point Black. And we are back. Hey, we're talking about music, man.
Yes,
Let me tell you. So wait a minute, Mike. You said something earlier that, you said that down in New Orleans, and you're saying up here in St. Louis that the production people, there were no African Americans on the front side.
The ratio of production folks that were being hired, you might see 1 or 2 black folks on a crew.
Right.
That could be pushing cases or anything. It's just because the industry wasn't designed for that, and we never saw those as industry jobs unless you knew the band or you knew somebody who played. So when you go into this production world, we're not going for those jobs. We're not even thinking that that's going to be a career path for us because you just didn't see us.
Now, the reason I bring that up is, ladies and gentlemen, will you believe that right now, they're just about done in Chesterfield, Missouri, the largest sound production studio in the country.
Wow.
Is being built out in Chesterfield, where if you're gonna do a tour, like if you see I use Beyonce, Michael Jackson, Prince, or the folks now you see flying through the air and the production, they built this where if you want to do a rehearsal for the tour that you're gonna take out, you bring everything here. You go in this building and you can put on that show. And you can put on the show, see it, perfect it, because the ceilings are 80 foot high.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
So the largest. So right now, in a minute, when this thing open up, and they can do film, and they can do music videos. When this thing open up, you won't know it because it's across the street from the Spirit of St. Louis Airport, the private airport. They're gonna fly out on the private jets.
Well, see, that's interesting.
Get off,
yeah,
drive across the street, and they'll be able to go in there and rehearse the whole tour. They have all of the props, all of the lights, everything inside there until they get it together. Then they load it up on the trucks and start a tour and go out. Now that's insane. So the reason why I asked you that because, so you're saying that potentially all those sound engineers and all those jobs are not going to look like us.
A large majority won't look like us, but the times have changed.
Okay.
The windows and doors of opportunity have definitely opened because you see more women and minorities in this day and time running front of house and doing lights and running production teams. That's the beauty of it from when I started. You definitely see a progression. So it's not like we locked out. It's just the opportunities weren't there, and we did not see them as job opportunities. Because you think about it, you say they're building that, but St. Louis, because we are centrally located in the country, bands have been coming here for years and renting warehouses down by the river that's been abandoned. I did this with Ozzy Osbourne's band. We rented a warehouse downtown and rehearsed Crazy Train for 8 hours. Full-blown stage, full everything. Everybody was there but Ozzy.
Got it.
And we did Crazy Train. And they would go around the city, and there are spots around St. Louis right now that people don't even know that exist, that Beyonce, Madonna, would come here and record and rehearse their shows before they would go out on tour. And you pass them every single day and don't even know that they're sitting there.
This one they're building out in Chesterfield is a monster,
Well,
man.
they got hip because they saw the potential in that.
Yeah, it's called Gateway Production, Gateway Sound Production.
It's easy to get from St. Louis to anywhere.
Well, they doing it. So now, if somebody wanted to go, now somebody wants to be a sound engineer. I mean, walk me through this. I'm trying to understand.
Well, for me, because I think I'm kind of a smart ass, I got my own books. Going to Xavier, I was headed to law school, so I got my own books. I started learning the terminology, the wires, and everything. But for the most part, they didn't have schools for sound engineering or audio engineering in the 80s and the early 90s. They opened up some school called Full Sail, and these audio things were basically like, they was taking kids' money, man. You know, you go there and spend 2 years, promise you an audio job, but you wind up in debt and then don't get a job.
Right.
You know, it's the promise of being in the career. So a lot of times, man, you have to find a company, like I did, that's willing to take you in.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to start pushing cases. You got to start somewhere to get in because those jobs are usually closed. They call who they know. So you get into this business by starting at a production company like Pyramid Audio in New Orleans, or some club people that are always busy, you know. And that way you get in, and then you learn the folks, and then you start learning to put your hands on the equipment. Then you learn the process of what sound and lighting and video actually is, and the time that it takes to perfect these things, man. Because there's a science to this. There's a very meticulous, time-consuming education that you have to put yourself through to be very proficient at this job, man. It's not easy. It looks easy. If it looks easy, probably ain't that easy.
So Essence Fest, you did the sound
I did the very
production?
first Essence Fest, man. The very first Essence Fest was a tiny stage in the Ernest Morial Convention Center. One stage, one room.
Wow.
Really, one stage, one room with one reggae band. The Shepherd Band, I never forget. Me and Tyrone Powell, who's now rest in peace, was one of my sound engineer teachers. And we did that. And it was like maybe 5,000 people, the very first one. I've done every one of those up until Hurricane Katrina. And to see it grow and morph into what it became, from a small PA to the entire convention center of the office, it was a beautiful, magical learning experience because my job was to do the installs. I put the sound system in the entire place. They call me the patch master. If something not on, it's my fault. I wired the whole system, rigged the whole system.
And so, but I'm quite sure the Essence Fest had black production.
Well, that's the beauty thing about production. Well, that's the funny side of that. There weren't any large black production companies that could handle something of that size.
right.
You'll get a couple of vendors that they would hire out, you know, and some techs. But for the most part, a lot of these companies would have to have at least one black person on the crew in order to get the contract. So as Essence Fest grew, the crews start to grow, you know. And still, when we at the end of the day on my crew, it was only 3 of us out of 40.
3 out of 4.
Out of 40. And I started it.
3 out of
3
4.
out of 40.
And is that because black folks were not going into that side,
That's
side of the
thing.
business?
Black folks were not going to that side of the business. Black folks were going into, I want to be on stage side of the business. They want to be seen and out front all the time. They don't want to be the person, you know, doing the dirt. They want to be, everybody not going to be the star, man. Somebody got to make it sound good. Somebody got to do the lights. Somebody got to get you there. Everybody not going to be on stage. Everybody got a studio, won't be a rapper. Yeah, right. Do the math. How many rappers in your block times your city?
Right. Now, I'm gonna ask this, and I think I know the answer. So, who would you say was the hardest artist you had to put the production up for?
I ain't gonna call no names, but there's a couple that can come out. The hardest folks to work with, I ain't gonna lie, Dolphus, was the gospel folks.
Oh, you kidding
Do
me?
gospel Sundays. Oh my God. They would rehearse the rehearsal and then still do the show. And they were so meticulous about so many things. And I've been in metal shows. I've been with some of the most crazy bands in the world. But them gospel shows, they always put it in Jesus' hands. I ain't got nothing against Jesus. But you know what? Be on time. Have everybody here on time.
That meticulous.
Dude, the gospel folks, good folks, love them to death.
Yeah.
But they are very particular about very small things. And I'm talking about the smallest of the small things. You know, like the click track or something that nobody else is gonna hear.
Now, when you say click track, you got to explain to people what the hell that is.
Well, it
Click
keeps
track,
it
my head went the wrong
You know,
direction.
when you
I'm
see a
glad
drum-
it's gospel.
When you see a drummer clicking his sticks like this,
Oh, right.
they got it in their head because that's keeping the time for the whole band.
Okay, got you.
So they have
Okay,
all these
okay.
little devices. So when you see these gospel bands, some of the baddest musicians are coming out of these gospel bands. But these are some of the most technical cats you've ever run across because they got their own little world set up in there. So my job was to adapt our system to what they were bringing to us.
Got it.
And it could be 50 inputs, sometimes 100 inputs, which means all the instrumentation and all the vocalists that are coming to me to send out to y'all.
Got it. But now gospel. What about
Heavy metal, well, you know.
Heavy metal.
Heavy metal.
Uh-oh.
Metal.
Uh-oh.
I started
Uh-oh.
out doing heavy metal, man. I started out, Jimmy's Music Club, let me tell you, was a metal club. And let me tell you,
Now wait a minute. Heavy metal is what I know it is, but what type of music is heavy,
Heavy
metal?
metal.
BJ, do you play heavy metal?
Pantera
don't put
down.
we
You know
don't have
what
no
that
heavy
is.
metal on our heart.
No.
Oh my God, we got to send a
We
note to
talking about
somebody.
the Ozzy Osbournes, the Dolphins. We talking about Down, Pantera, COC. I'm talking about hard, 9 Inch Nails, industrial metal. And this is where your ears bleed. It be so loud.
Oh wow.
No, you can't even walk on stage. It'd be so loud. You like, I'm not going up there.
So this is like what was it back then? The slam dance. This is the folks
Yeah,
who doing the slam dance.
The mosh pits. The mosh pits. I started out doing that in punk rock, man. I did the whole punk rock scene. For like 20 years I did that, along with the funk.
You doing their sound.
Doing their sound. And I was the only brother in the building.
Now wait a minute, Metallica and some of the rest of them. I mean, how do you? I guess you have to have some thick skin.
No, you just got to be confident in what you do. Now, there was some dicey moments at a couple shows that I knew for a fact that, you know.
What's an example of a dicey? Hold on.
See, I don't know if I should call these bands names out, but they don't care. They'll never hear it.
I
They
ain't
don't care.
worried
Right.
about- I
So I'm
ain't
with this
worried
band,
about
right?
it.
This band
Bring 'em
called.
on. Tell 'em
right.
to come in the studio.
So
We got
I'm part of this
something.
thing called the Brotherhood of the Eternal Sleep, right? So the Brotherhood of the Eternal Sleep is this band called Down. Now, Down are members of Pantera and COC. Now, these are bikers. These are those people that you probably would definitely walk by. This is hardcore. I'm talking about screaming guitars, metal chains, choppers, biker gang folks. And I'm the monitor engineer for the band. And I'm the only brother in the building. Most times 3,000, 4,000 people. They weren't playing small shows. And I've been threatened a couple times. Well, I've been called several bad names
Right.
walking across the stage to the point that the band stopped the show to say, he's with us. If I hear that again, show is over with.
Okay.
And that's occurred several times where, because my job, when I'm out on tour, my job is to cater to the bands, make sure the sound is good, but I also have to run for the bands, which means I have to go through the crowd and the audience.
Okay.
Walking through a crowd of bikers is not necessarily a safe thing, especially when they drinking, and
Right.
especially when they're hearing that music. And I'm the only one, because their anger can turn really quickly towards you, and it's a dangerous situation. So I've been in that moment, and sometimes it was a little scary, bro. Because it was like, dude, I'm not going back out there, because they leaving. I gotta work with y'all, and we go on to the next city. And some days it would be cool, some days it wouldn't, but it was still my job. You didn't keep me from my job.
Wait, let me ask you. I got to ask. Which cities gave you the?
New Orleans. New Orleans, my
Of all
hometown
places.
of all places, New Orleans. Because you get these people coming out from the bayou and the swamp, and they ain't really used to being in the city, and they bringing all this with them, and they not realizing where they at, but they coming to see they boys, not knowing that these cats are really my friends,
Right.
and they not thinking that these cats are really like that, and they could care less,
Right.
It's about music. We were about music and making people happy. Whether it's heavy metal, reggae, we was bringing a joyful noise unto the people, Adolphus. That's what we
Now
was
you
doing.
had a show in New Orleans.
I did. I wound up, man, having a show called Rhythms. Mikey Dread. New Orleans gave me that name, Mikey Dread. So one day, I went for this crazy audition, like I'm sitting here, and I got this TV show called Rhythms, where we showcase reggae music and the culture of New Orleans and its connection to the Caribbean. And I was on 3 days a week, twice on Saturday, on Cox Cable 10. And you got the only surviving copy from Katrina that I sent you that video. That's the first show, the very first show that we did. Everything else got washed away with Hurricane Katrina.
Oh wow.
So I became a local celebrity in sorts. And that was on, man, literally, Adolphus, I was on 3 days a week, twice on Saturday. And you saw my face. Reggae music. And BET would send us videos to showcase reggae artists.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it was
So there was the payola and videos.
yeah. Oh, back then, because the artists then, man, yeah.
BJ, I get it right. The payola and video. They just
They would definitely send us video, and it was such a good time, man. It was a great time. I became a minor, I guess, household name, I guess, but I was still doing sound, and I was still at school. So people started seeing that, and I was very active in the community still. Like, I was still working with Avery Alexander, but I'm still doing my music thing. I'm still out there, and music became my sole life.
And you knew George Porter. Right?
Well, I still know George Porter.
You still know
I still George Porter Jr. That's my papa, man. That's my dad.
Folks, tell folks who George
Porter Jr. is the bass player for the Meters. George Porter Jr. is probably the most sampled bass player on the planet. So is the Meters. The Meters probably are the most sampled band from hip hop. I'm talking about Public Enemy, Tupac, that sampled the Meters.
Sampled the Meters.
Everybody that sampled the Meters, brother. 2010, George Porter gave me a phone call and asked me what was I doing. I was like, whatever you want me to be doing. And ever since then, I've been on the road with him. 2 Grammys later, Lifetime Achievement Award, Lifetime Bass Player Award. I've been around the world with this man twice.
Oh, so them little Grammys too.
Well, that's
You
what
did
they.
his
That's what.
production stuff?
That's what they say. That's what they say. You
Oh,
know what?
wow.
We talked about that. We talked about that. People would say, "Man," I would tell them I didn't earn a Grammy because I didn't play on it. But they was like, "You was with them though," because like the Meters, the original Meters. I had the chance to be the production manager and tour manager for the original Meters before Art Neville passed away.
Okay.
That was my last gig before Art passed away.
Okay.
That is music.
Art Neville
Art Neville
brothers.
from the Neville Brothers,
Neville
right?
brothers.
From the Neville Brothers, right? Art Neville was the founding member. Zigaboo Mortalise, George Porter Jr., Cyril Neville, and Leo Nocentelli. Those are the Meters.
Those are the Meters.
Those are the Meters. And it don't get no funkier than that. The Meters were what they say defined what funk was. Even including James Brown. Like we played with everybody from James Brown's band played with the Meters. The Meters are like icons. The Grateful Dead, Bob Weir, who just died. We toured with Bob Weir in the world, man. The Meters are what people consider a standard of what funk is. It's timing, it's syncopation. But these 4 brothers from uptown New Orleans that are funky. They funky as they want to be.
Oh man, that's interesting. So now I'm going back to George. Is George his because you had Boosie play bass,
Mm-hmm.
Boosie Collins play bass. You had who I'm thinking about, Stu, bass players. Oh, not George Duke. It was George could play some bass. So I'm saying, when you talk about bass players, who else is out there other than George?
Oh,
And Boosie Collins.
Boosie
and
Collins.
Stanley Clark.
Stanley Clark.
Stanley Clark, yeah.
You know, there's a lot of bad bass players out there, man. But you know, when it comes to setting a standard and a tone, or what the actual funk thing is, George Porter is who everybody turns to every single time. He's the funkiest bass player on the planet.
Got it. Okay, no, that's interesting.
And that's what everybody else says, but he kind of knows it too. He just don't say it out loud.
Got you. No, I got you. So now on the production side, is it profitable?
It's very profitable. Once you get to a certain level, like music is like anything else. You have to matriculate through this business, man. You know, you start out playing small gigs, but when you get a call like George Porter, man, they've been making music since the 70s.
Right.
I mean, they get mailbox money, man. There's
Right.
albums on albums on albums, and you know the Google Pixel commercial. So there's profitability in it. But once you get to a certain tier, you making money. When you start out, man, you're gonna be hustling like an hourly job
Right.
until you get with somebody who's actually working. Because there's a difference between having a gig and having a career in this business, you know.
Right.
And being with the Meters and George Porter, that's a career. Because we're not talking about, you know, hoping we're gonna get money. We got guaranteed money before we even walk through the door and leave our house.
So what's the longest tour you've been on that you had to produce?
We did 30 cities in 30 days one time.
30 cities and 30 days.
We started in New Orleans, went all the way up to Canada, and came back.
So now
and hit every
walk
day.
me through what to get prepared for 30 cities and 30 as a production manager for this tour. You doing what?
It is a
Walk me
lot of
through.
phone calls. Every city that we go to, it's a lot of phone calls because every city we go to, I have to advance those shows. So before we get there, all the equipment has to be there, all the sound has to be there, the hotels have to be there, the buses have to be rented, the hotels have to be rented, if we even get those. So you need to leapfrog these things and have emergency backup plans in case something goes wrong. You also have to make sure passports are right. We got to Canada, some cats couldn't even get off the bus.
Oh, wow.
They couldn't get off the bus because they had some prior run-in with the law.
Right.
So you got to leave some cats in the band because they can't come. So these are things you need to know before you even leave the city.
Now 30 days. So now 30 days, 30 cities.
Now that's the longest continuous one.
I know. I'm trying to picture moving all this stuff around.
Well, you get 2 tour buses and a trailer, and you put the personal stuff back there, and you hit the road, and that's what you do. And every day I'm on the computer all day because they need to know when I'm arriving, what's expected of them when I get there, what my band expects, and by the time I do the first city, I'm 3 cities ahead already. Because while we doing is dumping and going. Because the band never sees the stage, man. When I get to the venue, right, I show up, take the band to the hotel.